Closing arguments are expected as well today in the trial of Senator Bob Menendez. He is accused of taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in gold, cash, and gifts from 3 New Jersey businessmen in exchange for favors and influence. 2 of those businessmen are being tried alongside Menendez. The third pleaded guilty and became a key witness for the prosecution. Menendez pleaded not guilty and did not take the stand in his own defense. He says prosecutors failed to prove every aspect of the case, and he is confident he'll be acquitted. The senator's wife also facing bribery charges in this case. His defense claims Nadine Menendez looked to get the money and assets any way that she could, keeping her husband in the dark. Trial attorney Mercedes Colwin is with us now. This has been a long case as we have followed it. The senator was tried for bribery in 2017 as well, so this is not the first time his feet have been to the fire. That ended in a mistrial with jurors unable to reach a verdict. Does that factor into the prosecution's strategy in this case as they get ready to have closing arguments?
Well, that's a great question, Marni. Always wonderful to start my day with you. It really boils down to the prosecutor learning from his first experiences of trying a similar case against Senator Menendez. And what the key issue was here is that they had a very significant witness come forward, and that's Jose Uribe. This is one of the 3 co-conspirators. This is one of the New Jersey businessmen that were also charged alongside Senator Menendez and his wife for bribery and conspiracy. What he did, though, he pled guilty and became a cooperating witness. And as a cooperating witness, his testimony came in, and apparently from those that reported on it, it was flawless. He did an excellent job of helping the prosecution, set for the basis for the purchase of that Mercedes. That's one of the charges against the senator and his wife, that they accepted the bribe of the Mercedes from Mr. Uribe. And now you have the actually supporting witness was the individual himself who allegedly provided that car as a form of bribery to gain some political influence from the senator.
Right. So listening to all of that, it seems pretty damning. How do you expect the defense to counter that argument in their final statements?
Well, they'll turn around and say what this is in the playbook, that he is a cooperating witness, that he was cooperating with the authorities, that he knew that in order to save himself, he was willing to say anything on the stand. So he's a biased witness. He's not someone to be believed. That's how they're going to deflect it. And in terms of the other evidence that they have, and there's a mountain of evidence, as you know, the cash, the gold bars, Mr. Menendez has 2 sisters testify and say, look, we came from Cuba. We were told as children to always have cash on hand, not to trust the government, not to trust the banks. And that's why we did this. It's kind of hard to say that you needed $500,000 and a multitude of gold bars in order to have a sort of a safety net in your home. It's a big stretch. We'll see what the jury actually decides about that.
Is it also a stretch, the defense's claim that it was all the wife, Nadine Menendez, that he was in the dark about all of this and she was the one pulling the strings, making the deals, going through with the bribes? Can that backfire?
I think it can backfire big time, Marni. Think about it. I mean, here's someone who some of the cash was found in his clothing, meaning the senator's clothing. The investigators figured that out because the cash was actually in clothing that's monogrammed with his initials. So all he wanted to do is deflect. We didn't really have a great relationship. Apparently, that's also part of the defense, that they said during testimony that they had a fractured relationship, that she was very money hungry and status hungry and hungry for the political stature that he had, all of that. It seems like a big stretch for that jury to really, truly embrace that theory. And at some point, and some of these jurors may even be turned off by it. I mean, here you are with their feet on the fire, and what do? You then blame your closest individual in your life, your partner, your wife, and say it's all her fault, not mine. It really doesn't pass the smell test.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.